All right, so you're ready to dive into some Thai real estate?
Let's do it.
Specifically, we're going to be weighing the investment potential of two spots, Phuket and Pattaya. And we're diving into this blog post from Ocean Worldwide Phuket Real Estate.
Okay.
And let me tell you, they do not hold back on their opinions.
Really?
Yeah.
Straight to the point, huh? I like it.
Oh, yeah?
What's the main takeaway?
So they really seem to be pushing Phuket, but more specifically even a certain area within Phuket.
It's interesting. Actually, the article doesn't just give like a general comparison. It really hones in on a specific area within Phuket, just like you said, called Bang Tao.
Okay.
And it digs deep into what makes it so attractive for investors, especially, right now.
Okay, so Phuket is an island,
Yeah.
and a pretty big one at that, so I guess it makes sense that not all areas are created equal.
Yeah.
So what is it about Bang Tao that makes it so special?
All right. So picture this. 6 kilometers of pristine white sand beaches, turquoise waters, and a backdrop of lush green hills.
Okay.
That's Bang Tao Beach.
All right, I'm already sold.
Right.
Yeah.
But, it's not just the natural beauty, right? We're talking
No.
about investment here.
Right.
The article really emphasizes the luxurious resorts and amenities, particularly the Laguna Phuket complex.
Okay, yeah.
Think like high-end dining, championship golf courses, a general air of exclusivity.
I'm getting serious vacation vibes here.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk investment.
Right.
So how does all this luxury translate into actual returns?
So it's all about the target market, right?
Okay.
This kind of luxury attracts a specific type of tourist, one who is willing to spend a bit more for that comfort and exclusivity.
Right, right.
And that means higher rental yields for investors, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
In fact, some reports indicate that rental yields in Bang Tao can reach up to 7%,
Wow.
compared to Pattaya's average of 5%.
7%. Okay, now that's a figure I can get behind.
Right.
But this is all sounding very one-sided.
Sure.
What's the catch with Pattaya? The article, it seems pretty down on it.
Yeah, the article uses the term overdeveloped a lot.
Okay.
So imagine like crowded beaches, rows of high-rise buildings, and a focus on budget tourism.
Okay. Yeah.
And, while this can be attractive to a certain type of traveler, it doesn't necessarily scream like luxury or high returns.
Yeah.
The article argues that this overdevelopment has led to those lower rental yields
Wow.
and less potential for capital appreciation.
So it's not just about finding a beautiful place. It's about understanding the market, the clientele, and like the long-term potential.
Precisely. And that's where understanding, terms like leasehold and freehold
Oh, yeah.
become crucial for investors. The article briefly touches upon these,
Why?
but it's worth, delving deeper into the legal framework of each location.
Speaking of the legal side of things, that's always a bit nerve-wracking for me, especially when investing abroad.
Yeah.
Anything in the article that sets off any alarm bells?
Yeah, transparency and security are key when you're putting down, significant investment capital.
Absolutely. Does the article shed any light on like the legal landscape of Phuket versus Pattaya?
Yeah, it does touch on a, I think, pretty critical point.
Okay.
Pattaya has had its share of legal uncertainties
Why?
for foreign investors,
Right.
including,
Yeah.
land disputes and scams, things like that.
Right.
Phuket, especially Bang Tao,
Okay.
is portrayed as having a much more, I guess, transparent and established legal system.
Right. So that peace of mind is definitely like a really valuable factor for people.
Oh, absolutely.
But let's be honest, not everybody looking to invest in Thai real estate has like, a tycoon budget.
Right.
What about like those of us who aren't quite ready to drop a fortune on a beachfront villa?
Yeah. I mean, that's where Bang Tao's diversity comes into play. The
Right.
article really emphasizes that, it's not just about those multi-million-dollar villas.
Right.
There's a range of property options from, luxurious condos
Right.
to much more affordable apartments,
Okay.
catering to a wider range of investors.
So there's something for everyone at different levels of investment.
Exactly.
That's smart.
Yeah. You don't have to be a millionaire to get in on this.
But even with, a variety of options and these high-end tourists and fancy condos, that doesn't automatically equal a good investment.
Right.
What about the actual demand in Bang Tao? Are people actually clamoring to rent in this supposed paradise?
Yeah, well, that's where those rental yield figures I mentioned come in.
Okay, yeah.
The article suggests that Bang Tao benefits from that high rental demand driven by its, growing popularity and the influx of, those deep-pocketed tourists we talked about.
Right. Okay, so the demand is there, but we also need to remember that real estate isn't just about rental income.
Right.
What about that other, like, magic phrase, capital appreciation?
Right, exactly.
Your money is actually growing on top of it.
Right. The article highlights that,
Yeah.
Bangtao has, strong capital appreciation potential.
Yeah.
Essentially, your investment itself could increase in value over time,
Okay.
potentially leading to, a tidy profit when you decide to sell.
So you're not just earning rental income.
Sure.
The property itself becomes more valuable.
That's the idea.
It's like a 2-for-1 deal.
Exactly.
But, isn't there a risk that, like, Bangtao might be getting overhyped?
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how much more can this market actually grow?
That's a very valid concern.
Right.
And it's where, doing your due diligence, doing your research becomes absolutely crucial.
Right.
The article does paint a very optimistic picture.
Sure.
But, smart investors, they dig deeper, look
Right.
at infrastructure projects, analyze occupancy rates, and consider potential challenges like environmental concerns or increased competition.
Right. It's all about, like, weighing the risks and rewards, right?
Exactly.
You can't just jump in blindly.
And remember, this article is just one perspective. It's essential to, consult multiple sources, speak to, local experts, and
Yeah.
perhaps even, visit both locations yourself to get a real feel for the market.
Yeah, you got to see it to believe it.
Exactly.
But, even beyond the numbers, even beyond the potential ROI, there's, like, a bigger picture to consider.
Yeah.
This article focuses so heavily on just, like, the financial side of things, but what about the impact of all this development
Right.
on Phuket and Pattaya themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is sustainable development even possible in the face of such rapid growth?
That's a really good point. This whole conversation has got me thinking about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
The article talks about these luxury resorts and these high rental yields, but
Yeah.
what about like the environmental and social costs
Right.
of such, rapid development?
It's a critical consideration. And to be fair to the article,
Yeah. Yeah.
it only briefly mentions the importance of sustainable development.
Right. It's really up to, the individual investors to really investigate those factors.
So how does one go about, like, actually assessing the sustainability of a potential investment?
Yeah.
What questions should we be asking?
Well, first and foremost, I would say look at the developer's track record.
Okay.
Do they have a history of implementing sustainable practices?
Right.
Are they using, eco-friendly materials and construction methods?
Okay.
Are they taking steps to, minimize their environmental impact? These are all things to consider.
So it's about, looking beyond the glossy brochures and digging a little deeper, doing your research.
Exactly.
What about the social impact, though?
Yeah.
How do these developments affect the local communities?
That's another, crucial piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Are these developments creating jobs and opportunities for locals?
Right.
Are they respecting local culture and traditions? Are
Yeah.
they contributing to the overall, like, well-being of the community? Or are they just, creating these kind of isolated bubbles of luxury?
Yeah, it's about finding that balance, right?
Yeah.
Like economic growth that doesn't come at the expense of the environment or the people who call these places home.
Exactly.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, it really highlights the fact that, investing isn't just about maximizing profits.
Right.
It's also about making, responsible choices
Yeah.
that align with your values,
Right,
right? It's about understanding that every investment has an impact.
Okay.
And it's really our job as investors to make sure that impact is a positive one.
Well said.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, while this deep dive into, like, Phuket and Pattaya real estate has been, super fascinating, and this blog post gave us, a great starting point.
Yeah, for sure.
It's clear that there's always more to the story than meets the eye.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. The most important takeaway here is,
Yeah.
do your due diligence, consider that bigger picture, and make those informed decisions that align with,
Yeah.
not only your financial goals, but your personal values as well.
Couldn't agree more. Now, here's something to ponder as you continue your research. The article focused on 2 specific locations in Thailand, but these themes of sustainable development, responsible investment, these apply to, any market anywhere in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
So food for thought.